Hey, what's good, everyone? It's me, Matt from Diazable, doing another album review, and I hope you're doing well. So, today I'm checking out the band Sleep Token with their album Take Me Back to Eden. Now, this band Sleep Token has been making a lot of noise in the past couple of years, and especially last year in 2023 with this newest album they dropped. They've got like a real like ominous and like a big following, like because it's a big concept band and everything. Like all the members are anonymous, they only have numbers for names. The main vocalist is named Vessel and stuff like that. It reminds me when I first found out about Slipknot back in the day, how you don't know anything about them and it's all a big secret. And apparently like they're literally a cult slash they worship this goddess called the Sleep Token. That's like the story, the lore behind it, and people really like it and everything. And they're really like making a lot of news because they're like metal, but also like poppy and kind of jazzy. They mix a lot of genres, and a lot of people like them. And apparently, everyone keeps saying a lot of girls are into them, and they always say whatever, especially like young women are into. That's usually the next big thing that's gonna pop off in terms of music and everything. Which I kind of believe in everything. Girls drive a lot of the music industry in a way. So yeah, I'm gonna do a deep dive on this album from Sleep Token. This might seem like a weird description, but the way that they're playing at the beginning of this song, it seems very like monotone and odd, but not through the vocals, but through like the playing of the music. They seem very subdued and everything. And also the vocalist has like a weird Southern British drawl to it and everything. It's very distracting for me to listen to. I wasn't too sure how I felt about it when I listened to it. And about after 2 minutes in this song, it really kicks into some large rock sounds with backing female vocals and everything. I will say that the drumming, they use a lot of like China splashes and everything, so it adds a lot to the background, and that sounds really good. And I will say it's a very slow song, I think on purpose, but I will say the second half of the song is more interesting than the first half. And by the end of the song, I got a feel of like this is like a heavier version of Christian rock. But I guess that kind of makes sense. They're like worshiping a god, a cult, and all this stuff. They're making this whole story about it, and so I guess it kind of makes sense.
Even when you're gone, I'll tell them my religion's you. When punctures
This song, I would say straight up, is more of a metal song than anything, with some really heavy riffs and hard drumming. But then as the song progresses, they pull it back a bit to bring more of an ambient style rock side to them. And then they go back to in with some heavy chugs and harder on the drums and everything. So a lot of different genre switches here. The guitars have like a echoey like style to them and everything, especially during the guitar solo. It has some pianos playing in the background to add some nice flavor to the song, which is pretty cool. You get some interesting synths and that add a lot to the track in terms of like building an atmosphere, which I think they're doing an all right job of building that atmosphere. But I would say they do a lot of weird stop and go playing and abrupt genre changes to like metal, jazz, and I feel like what they're trying to do here, it just seems so rough and tough. They're not blending the genres as smoothly as I want them to. And so I feel like they're trying to be ambitious and gamble a lot on their sound, but it just comes off more weird than anything. So I'm gonna play a clip of The Summoning for you. That was actually a pretty good smooth transition there. I'll give him that. His vocals are really hard for me to like take in because I can't tell if he's like putting on this sexy guy voice or like if that's his natural voice. Because sometimes it sounds really cool and then other times it sounds kind of cheesy. So I'm very mixed about that. But overall, this is a very sexy metal, I want to say. The lyrics are pretty interesting. The tuning of the guitars are really nice. And towards the like second half of the song, has a very haunting sound to it. So I think it's a little bit more creative here. Backing synths on this track have a little bit more of a chill, lo-fi vibe to them, and I like that and everything. But I will say his vocals, they seem a little bit off. Like he doesn't have as much confidence as he had before. And overall, the sound of this song reminds me of like a smoke lounge, especially with the style of the pianos and everything. It reminds me of the game Yakuza, where you like go to the save room and chill out and everything. It's like at a bar, like a jazz like kind of bar where it's like very chill and everything. So that's what it reminds me of. But I will say too, the chorus is pretty catchy on this particular song. Here they're bringing out some like djenting style metal here, and it overall sounds pretty good. The screams sound really good. The bass is really sick. There's good pacing on this song with the soft vocals and the harsh vocals. They balance that out really well. The flow is way better. I think it's like the best flowing song so far up until this point. Um, it might feel like generic metal, but it's well written in terms of song structure and style. So I really like this song. For some reason, at the beginning of the song, the pianos remind me of "Let It Go" from Frozen. Tell me if I'm crazy. Comments down below. I don't know if you guys got those same similarities, but I thought of "Let It Go" from Frozen. And then it kind of switches up into like this weird trap flow with his vocals, and it's just very jarring. Like that's what I've been talking about. This man, they throw surprises at you, and I guess sometimes they're kind of cool, but other times they're kind of like, ooh, what are y'all doing? With there's a like a lo-fi trap beat here. The lyrics too seem a little bit on the cringe side a bit, I think. Um, and then it kicks into some more of the metal stuff and everything, and it gets really, really heavy as it progresses along. And I feel like the song is a little bloated and kind of tries too hard to be this genre bending thing. And so I think it's just not the best song. So I'm gonna play a clip of I think it's called Essentialism. Ooh, I can't pronounce that. Sorry.
I on a rail, other I follow where the scarlet trail and the last few drops from the holy grail. Now rose gold chain strip, lace cut glass, blood stains at the color beans. Just don't ask me the first to the.
Yeah, I really don't know how I feel about this song a second time around and everything. Here I'm getting some weird alternative country vibes. Like you mush those two genres together, you get this song. The song slowly and steadily builds upon itself to get some like real grand rock feels. But overall, it's not a bad song, I think. The vocals sound really good here, and it's got really good pacing overall. Some more soft and stringy like guitars, and his vocals, I think he sounds the best on this track. He sounds less sexy and more raw, and in my mind, it feels more authentic. Got really dark and powerful synths in the background. The vocal rap flow is much better here. It blows it out of the water from the previous songs and everything. I guess I want to say the musicianship, like the songs being created here with the drums, instruments, like the creative side, sound really good. They sound very bold, and the drums sound very large and just boomy and everything. Very haunting, dark synths. Overall, when I heard so much about Sleep Token, I thought this is what I was gonna get more of on this album, with this style, but not as much. This is like the only song that I really, really appreciated. So I want to play a clip of The Apparition for you. If this was what Sleep Token was all the time, I think I would enjoy this band a little bit more. They got some bongo style synths here, and all it makes me think of is like this is like robot music for some reason. And got weird, funky beats overall. The vocals sound good, but the performance of the whole like stop, go singing and everything is really annoying, I think. But I can say I see what they were trying to do here by switching things up a bit, but it's just poorly executed, I think. Overall, it just feels like generic low bar chain smokers music. Hollow out drums and like the clapping and everything kind of remind me of Imagine Dragons. Any band that does that, I'm sorry, Imagine Dragons has ruined that for any band, because as soon as a band does that, I just think of Imagine Dragons, and I'm not the biggest fan of them. Their music is very meh, but that's beside the point. The vocals though are very kind of like subpar here as well. But when the instruments really kick in, I will say the song has a better sound to it overall. It definitely elevates the song. When he talks about the rain pours down on me, that sounds kind of cool, but the song kind of dies out without leaving much of an impression. Like it comes and goes pretty fast. His vocals sound really good here. Like he's really passionate about what he's singing. So I really like that here. There's nothing special when they're doing the metal parts. It's pretty like generic, but it sounds all right. It's nothing too like new or flashy. It's just all right. But I will say the flow of the song gets it's really fluid until it gets to the trap rap part in the middle. It feels a bit shoehorned in and everything. So I want to say the beginning of the song and the end of the song is really, really good. But the middle part, it's a bit jarring in. Yeah, not the best. More robot style vocals here and more pop country style pianos. Overall, it gives the song a very grand finale to it. Like you can tell, oh, this is the end of the album and everything. The back end of this song is much better than the first half. Like the first half is kind of shaky, but they do tend to build it up and have a better ending here with large percussions and the guitars. They lead into like a slow piano that like plays out nicely and everything. So it makes it for like an okay ending. So those are my thoughts on the new Sleep Token album, Take Me Back to Eden. And the one thing I can say I can take away from this album is it's very ambitious, large, grand, which I think they're trying to do. But I feel like it kind of falls short of that because they are mixing a lot of genres, doing a lot of different things here, which are normally outside the realm of metal, which is nice. But it feels a bit disjointed and very all over the places. I think they don't, their transitions and how they go into these different genres are very jarring and not smooth, or they're doing styles that I just think they're not really good at, like mixing the trap beats and then like the rap flow over stuff. Maybe it needs some more work. They need to fine tune it a bit more, but it just seems a little bit rough around the edges. And so a lot of the times I was taken away from the songs because it just was such jarring changes. And another thing, some of the songs did seem a little bit bloated and kind of like, I know it's supposed to be a grand, epic thing, concept album and everything, but some stuff just felt a little bit like too long, I guess, at times. But I will say, some things I do like about this, even though his vocals were a bit like jarring when he tries to sound really sexy or really push his vocals to the max, I think when he goes more, he pulls his vocals back and does more of a soft vocal range and everything and more toned down, he sounds more genuine, more raw, and I really like that style that he was doing. It felt more authentic, felt sexier. It just, at times when he was trying to be sexy, it just sounded weird. And the beginning, I would say the production side and everything, it does sound really good. The album doesn't sound horrible. They have the money to put into like this album, like they made something really nice in terms of like, it doesn't sound like shit. So I'll give them that too. The metal parts with the riffing from the guitars, the hard drumming from the drums and everything sound really good when they do. And you know, the other parts that are a little bit more jazz influence, more soft rock and everything, not too bad on their own. It's just a big mess when they all collide together, I think, and clash a bit. So maybe I need to go back and check out their older stuff and everything, but this is the first time I've had to experience Sleep Token. And I think people talking about them for a long time, people recommended me for a long time. I try my best not to have an expectation about it, but because so many people were talking about it, I couldn't help it. Like, all right, let's see what the hype is all about. And personally, it didn't live up to the hype I was hearing. So I would say this album from Sleep Token is a solid 7 out of 10. Yeah, leave comments down below. Tell me what I missed, what you think I got right or didn't. I'm here to discuss. Have a good time. I'm Matt from Diazable. Check out my stuff. Follow me on Instagram. I do album reviews, written reviews there. Follow my clothing brand, Diazable. Any follow, any like is appreciated. And until next time, bye.